So Congress has press conferences. We've played with Eric Holder, with Napolitano, with all of them. They know it's not, they've got them dead to rights, but they can't go after them for the gun issue itself because Bush was involved in it as well. And Darrell, Issa, Boehner, all of them have said the Justice Department is out of excuses. Boehner said in a statement today, either the Justice Department turns over the information requested or Congress will have no choice but to move forward with holding the Attorney General in contempt for obstruction of an ongoing investigation. Yeah, let's start impeaching all of them. You know, if the Republican Party came out and said we're abolishing the Federal Reserve, we're going back to government-issued currency, we'll have a debate about gold back, we're getting out of the UN, we're shutting down these bases, we're doing all of this, I'd get right behind them. But don't hold your breath. They're doing this now because of the political season and because this happened to come out. Now they've got to at least act like they're covering it. So hold their feet to the fire. You know how Rand Paul could make up for trying to get us to go and get in bed with Mitt Romney politically? He could come out and say, impeach Eric Holder. He could come out and he could say, get us out of the UN. He could come out and say, impeach Obama over NDAA. I mean, let's see some dramatic action with your bully pulpit, not, oh, let's make the establishment Republicans like us by joining with them. Again, you have this bizarre story. Commerce Secretary John Bryson accused in hit-and-run crashes. Notice they say he was cited. He wasn't arrested. If you or I hit and run, we go to jail. He hits a car, hits it again, drives off, hits another car later, miles away, and is found passed out. And there's no discussion of being on drugs, no discussion of any of it. It's just, well, he got a ticket. And, you know, commerce secretaries are classically some of the most corrupt. I wonder if he'll go up in an airplane like Ron Brown if he gets too embarrassing. Peter King says drones carry out policy of righteousness and goodness. Yes, everyone knows that's what our political system stands for now. Righteousness and goodness. The most obese, the most sickly, the most degenerate, the decadent society nearing collapse the world has ever seen since the Romans. And it's righteousness and goodness to have extrajudicial, illegal killings done by robot, cowardly attack fleets in our name worldwide, while the criminal government kills whoever they want in the name of fighting al-Qaeda while funding and running al-Qaeda. The military's killer drones have made America safer by decimating al-Qaeda's chain of command, the chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee said Sunday. I mean, what a joke. What a joke. When you're informed, it's a total joke. We told you this was coming. Army Times, 3,000 soldiers to serve in Africa next year. That's just his advisors. The invasion of Africa has begun. And you're going to pay for it all, but you're not going to get the booty from it. That's just some of the news. I mean, it's just stack after stack after stack of news with what's happening here. You know, let's do this. I said I'd get to this transhumanist thing, but in the time I've got in the shower, I can't do it justice. I'm either going to play this tonight and give commentary throughout it, or I'm going to do a special report for the radio show, and it'll be out in a few days, because there's this incredible United Nations meeting, Global Future 2045 International Congress, held in Russia, and they say the end of humanity, the merger with machines, how it's going to empower us. It's the new spiritual revolution. See, they attack and integrate the old religion, but then bring out their new transhuman religion, and they sell it as if total empowerment. Yes, technology could greatly empower humanity, but instead, it's lowering the vocabulary. People aren't communicating. It's dumbing people down. Basic mathematics is disappearing. Language is falling apart. And people are already addicted. It's changing brainwaves, lowering cognitive ability in every study connected to Alzheimer's. And now the virtual realities are television wrecked our society. Now the new computer virtual reality is fully absorbing it. And they sell it all as if it's going to be the most beautiful thing, and this Valhalic heavenly experience. And then meanwhile, the people at the conference, I looked them up, are all the globalists who are backdooring all the technology to fully enslave populations. And that report with the video is United Nations envisions transhumanist future where man is obsolete. And it's this utopian statement that, well, don't complain about it because the evolution is here and that's the way it is. We shouldn't even have a debate. And it means the government will say how many kids you can have, but it's wonderful because it's technology. The Soviets had all this talk about spaceships and super cities. You know, we see that with the Zeitgeist movement. We see that with, you know, all of these different pushes that they're going to deliver you some type of heaven if you'll just acquiesce to their vision of the future. And what it is a bunch of people in pods with their brains hooked in to the pleasure centers who are happy to be turned off. I mean, this is just total technological takeover. Drones, checkpoints, nanotech in the food and water, brain damaging us, rewiring our brains. That's just the beginning. And they've already launched all this. Most people in autopsies, this came out a month ago, already have nanotech that's gone through the blood-brain barrier. The GMO, hidden, only top scientists can even find what they've designed into it. Their fertility plunging. I mean, we are so deep into this already that it's a joke that I've even been talking about Rand Paul. I mean, it doesn't even matter. And Ron Paul's gotten more and more milquetoast. I mean, you hardly hear about the New World Order anymore, none of it. It's just a shame, and that's fine. I wish we could reverse this because the globalists themselves are a bunch of nihilistic, power-tripping people in a power race to get these technologies for themselves. I mean, look at this report. Former Pentagon analyst says China can shut down all the telecom gear it sold to the U.S., and it goes into how all the new electronics have back doors built in it. But if you knew the rest of the story, you'd know, as I mentioned earlier, that under the different telecommunications acts, 96, 2000, 2006, under all these agreements, all of the tech agrees on standard. That's why if you get a Samsung Droid or an Apple iPhone or a Sony laptop or a digital television, they all have tech to watch you, to listen to you, to remote erase your DVR, to watch you, to track you. The government now admits this. Remember how crazy I was a decade ago telling you this? It was in MIT. Just like I told you they're taking your baby's blood at birth secretly for 40 years. Now it's all admitted. They do what they want. There's a whole scientific agenda by the technocrats. They don't watch Lady Gaga. They don't care about going to the big parties. They don't care about being senators. They are engineers, global technocratic engineers. When you see a film like Prometheus, and I told you we had the script, you notice my analysis was dead on, and if you've now seen the movie, that it's all about how the humanoids are really humans from the future. That's going to be in the next installment. This whole movie was just a build-up to the next one. Oh yeah, I know more than just this this installment of Prometheus, and it's humanoids. Here, I'll just spoil the whole thing for you. Those are spacesuits that look like the Elephant Man, who've come from the future, but we're also in our past and engineered humanity and are now engaged in a genetic rewrite. The engineers are the New World Order. They believe they're going to attain the super science tech. They believe they're going to have the life extension and never die. And at this big UN conference, they say everything I laid out in Endgame. And the media ran these straw men things saying, Alex Jones says the elite are going to merge with computers and fly around the galaxy. Now, I was quoting Ray Kurzweil. I was quoting the UN. You know, Alex Jones says the elite eat roasted babies in foil. No, I was pointing out the powdered pills of babies, the roasted babies being shipped, the baby collagen melted down into expensive cosmetics. I was saying this is the type of trash at Bilderberg that engages in that. And the media goes with, I'm making up roasted babies in probably 15 publications. That's how they do it. By the way, I saw an Associated Press article about Prince Charles vacationing in Transylvania after Diamond Jubilee. In fact, that's somewhere in my stack and I couldn't find it. Guys, you put that on screen. I remember 15 years ago breaking down that they're not even German royalty that rules England. They're really Transylvanian. I mean, how weird is that? That Transylvanian royalty runs the known world. And pushes this idea that they have no power, and that Prince Charles is obsessed with his Transylvanian lineage and hops around at old Dracula-style castles. Well, actually, Dracula's castle is there, hopping around in the Transylvanian woods. There it is. Prince Charles on private visit to Transylvania after the Diamond Jubilee. They say he spends like half his time there creeping around in the woods like Nosferatu. I mean, this is the level of weirdness we deal with. Truth is so much stranger than fiction, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'm trying to tell you here. We're going to go to break, take 2 segments of calls, and Webster Tarpley is going to join us. I was going to get into this transhumanism, and I just did, but I'm going to get into it properly. Showing you what I said in Endgame. It's free online, by the way, folks. You can buy the DVD at Infowars.com if you want it for posterity, so they can't just erase it off the web as they've been trying at Infowars.com. Also, don't forget, I never even plug our sponsors. We've got Ventura's new book, Democrypts and Republicans. I can hardly pronounce that. And we've got the best gravity-fed filters, 10% off with the code WATER at Infowars.com. The ProPure, Infowars.com. Lowest price anywhere, or 888-253-3139. Stay with us. All right, let's go to your phone calls. Let's talk to Adrian in Michigan. You're on the air. Thanks for holding. Welcome.
Hello, Alex. And you're right. It's a shame that we are wasting our time speaking about Rand Paul. If he continues down this path, at most it's just going to be a failed establishment victory in 2016. And what we need right now is a victory for liberty through honesty.
What we need is to identify that the country's been taken over by 6 private mega banks out of Europe and is imploding the world to destroy the free market and on it build a monopoly insider system. And if we don't identify these guys, there's no way to turn it around, because in every country, they own the top 2 or 3 parties. The system is fixed like a Don King fight. How do we get around that?
The only way is if we all go out there and individually inform everyone we know, friends, family, through the cable access television and everything else, and to try to work through the local level.
Absolutely. The system wouldn't be trying to censor the web and bring in control. They know as things get worse, people are going to listen more and more.
Yes, they will. I suppose that'll be all, except I'd also like to say for Jesse Ventura, thank you for continuing your fight, and I salute you.
All right, he's going to be on tomorrow. Thank you for the call. Yeah, I mean, I disagree with Ventura on a lot of issues. Unlike Ron Paul, I agree with him on almost everything. But with Ventura, he doesn't compromise. I know him personally. He is real. He is real. And if he every once in a while starts to change his view, he'll tell you why. He certainly doesn't do it for political expediency. And that's why the system came after him. And Ventura's not running for anything, folks. I mean, maybe in 2016, but I doubt it. He is sick of it all. He wasn't going to sue this guy until his Navy SEAL, former bosses said, we know it's a lie. Yeah, people that own the bar, everything. They checked. They found it's made up. They said, well, you got to sue this guy. We can't have the SEALs doing this kind of stuff for money, stabbing each other